Hi, Scott here, and at home you can see the center behind me there as I'm in voluntary lockdown here, and yeah, sometimes going crazy like I'm guessing you are too, um, but also, I don't know, this coronavirus thing it's horrific, for some people. Certainly those who have it are bad symptoms, dying. Absolutely. And for healthcare workers and the list goes on and on. Businesses, everybody really is going to suffer to some degree with this. And no, this is huge. It's also uh, an opportunity. And I think if you've looked at some of the poems that have come out recently, or really thoughtful people like Richard Rohr, or anyway, they're saying this too. And I guess the main thing I want to say there is I think anyone can see this is both, at the very least, a pause in our society and a reset of sorts. And it's actually that for us personally too, you know? I'm guessing your patterns have been broken up, mine have been, absolutely. And with that comes opportunity as well. So I'm just going to share a little bit on that, and then at the end of this, there'll be a guided meditation for those who want to use it. But I would like for all of us, who are part of the center community, to kind of think about, well, first off, thank you for being part of that community. Even if you've never been to the center facility, the fact that you're watching this, I think of the center community as those people who are trying to center ourselves, in our hearts, and bring the best from our hearts, to life, to our own personal life. So it is for us, and then to society. So it's for society and the world too. I think it's the best way to approach life, and that's why we have the center, right? So thank you, first off, for that. I mean, the fact that the center even exists is pretty cool, and it's definitely a cooperative effort. Absolutely, So thank you for that. So as we try to live that out, like right now, what's the opportunity in this pause and reset, for each one of us personally? And first thing is become aware, oh yeah, my gosh, pray for those who are suffering right now, the worst, and the healthcare workers and our leaders and everybody. Just see them in light and love, send them the best love we can. And then as we see things we can do, do those things. If you Google, there's a few things, I'm not going to tell you what, whatever you find that you feel like, okay, I can do this, please do, so that's a good thing to be doing. And I know a lot of it's going to be virtual, or just sending a check, or, right, or, who knows, I don't know. But let's be doing those things. But then the next thing is, go ahead and be open to the truths that this is revealing, right? Like one of those core truths, and why I'm going to talk about it, because the center is one of the only things you really know you're going to have. Actually, maybe the one thing you're always going to have is you. I think each one of us, as we're, going to have more time with ourselves, or at least we're out of those patterns that might have distracted us from being present to our lives, we can realize that, right? There's just such truth to this. And I'm just going to look at my notes here because I want to make sure, but and that can be scary at first. I don't always like myself. But that's one of the things that centering has really helped me with, is coming to an appreciation of this opportunity to be me. That's why we have at the center, that what a relief to be myself, what a relief to be myself, and to learn to love myself as I would say God loves each one of us. For me, I'll just be candid, and this is off the cuff, this isn't in my notes, but it's just been such a truth. One of the greatest gifts of the center has been opening to God in a new way, much more like the tree of life, or the great weaver who weaves this web of life in which we are each a point of consciousness, you might say. And then this opportunity, I would say that's our eternal soul. And then this opportunity of being human is to be on this adventure with God. And the reason I tell people in meditation, I'm actually being the most honest with myself, because I realize I'm not making each heartbeat happen. I'm not consciously making each breath happen. I am actually experiencing a flow of life that is, taking a pattern in my body that is giving me life as a human being. I think each one of us, when we die, we're going to find ourselves outside of our body, and that's maybe when this realization is going to hit us the most. Is, oh wow, I was in that body. I was given the chance to be human, and this opportunity to be on this adventure with what I would call God, but as this great weaver or this tree of life that's branching out as us and doing so many things that are supporting this possibility of experience, mutually, but also, of course, individually. That's one of the things that's really striking me about this crisis right now. We're realizing, wow, we are really interconnected. We really are. Look at, this virus, wherever it came from, right, has gone over the whole globe, and we are all affected. And how much we have in common, right? How it really is a threat to everyone. But then also, right, how each one of us has a capacity to, and a power to be able to respond in ways that help rather than hurt. And it's as each one of us claim that responsibility, we can make a difference. And if we don't, right, there's going to be a lot more suffering than needs to be. Wow. There's some huge insights here. There really are. And so one of the best things we can do as we're given more time to ourselves is learn to love ourselves better. Learn to be in that flow of love that gives life better. It's interesting. The analogy I've used in the past is to see our thoughts as like a kayak, and then to, use our thoughts to get back into that flow of love that gives life, like a river that is flowing. And that's why I love breath and heartbeat meditations, because you actually can experience, and as you kind of use your thoughts to go ahead and focus your attention on that flow of those unforced, graceful rhythms that give life in your body, and you feel for it, you feel there's emotion there. There's energy in motion that is of love. It feels good. And how to settle in with that and flow with it, and how you're even being you. And then the next thing you might do, right? Working from there. That would be one of the best things any of us can do, is get better. Work that muscle in this time of having, right, more time at home, right? And I know a lot of you, parents that have young children, that your schedule, it just changed, and you might be more busy than ever, but you're also going to have more time at home. And so to set aside some time to focus on loving. Now that might not be meditation. It can be whatever, We just ordered groceries delivered for the first time ever. And the young man that came, first off, I will tell you, he was an awesome kid, okay? He really was. And I don't want, if you work at the grocery store that might have sent this, don't look up. But anyway, he came to the door without gloves on the first time. And then he came to the door the second time with gloves on. And I realized he just forgot to put his gloves on, But then it brought my fears, oh, geez, am I bringing germs in or whatever? And to be honest with you, he was just a super kid. And I realized we're all trying to do our best here. He probably just forgot his gloves for a second, and, it's like, oh my gosh, don't, But then I was like, oh, geez, should I wipe everything down? And I actually did end up wiping them down. But here was my choice. Go with the fear or love. So what I did is I wiped down all the groceries, while I also was very appreciative to him. Here he was trying. He put his gloves on after he'd forgotten. And then he wouldn't take a tip. I told him, it looked like the tip was canceled somehow in my reorder or whatever. And he said, "Oh yeah, I saw that, but it'll get worked out." And he wouldn't. And so I said, "No, please take, And he took like half. He was just he had a great heart. He had a great heart. And we're gonna make mistakes through this thing. So it's like, don't run with the fears, like my fear of exposure, right? Wipe things down. In other words, take the precautions, but do so out of love. Not any kind of attacking spirit, right? What I want to say to everybody, politicians, everybody, let's put a moratorium on being mean to each other. We all, we're going to need love to get through this well. And yes, love is going to take some precautions because love sees the wisdom of that, right? But the whole goal is to get everybody into that alignment with the flow of love that gives life. It was funny, as I was putting away groceries, wiping them down, I put on my little tuning into love meditation on my, Spotify. And it was great because, there was My Love, My Life from Mamma Mia is my first song. And that song made me cry first time I saw it in the movie, right? And just to get in touch with that love. And that, in that scene, I don't know if you've seen it, but it actually brings up how, death is just a doorway and the love is what's going to continue. So let's work that muscle, that love muscle. It's the best thing for us in our experience of being us, as well as for society. So anyway, all right, I've talked enough. Let's do our meditation for those that want to. So get comfortable. I'm going to go back to the rest that works because I think I'm going to put it with this just so you have it. And of course that's always something, I thought I had it in here. I'll just do it from my memory. So get comfortable. First, pray to the great I am, we are. It can just be life if you want. Whoever is the giver, whatever's giving you life in your body right now, and your soul, to help you come back into alignment with that love that gives life. And for me, I know what that means. It means kind of letting go. That's what coming to rest, right? And come with that humility of like a child who doesn't know everything, especially about God, right? But I do know that, there is life flowing in me, and it didn't come from me. So thank you. So I actually envision, coming to God with the trust of an adored child who's loved in this life-giving way. So I settle in at that, and I just choose to trust as I'm really being honest about my situation, The most fundamental things giving me life, my breath, my heartbeat, I didn't start them. I don't make them happen. So I'm going to ride that wave the way I have all my entire life. And then I remind myself, oh yeah, the love that is in my heart as I settle in, that desire to love and be loved, I think that's from my eternal soul, which is also from God. That's what it means to be made in the image of God, who is love. So settle in there. And recognize as eternal souls, we're going to keep existing beyond the 100 years or so we might live in this world, right? Or less, to whatever degree. I just want to be in that love. It just feels so much better to be in love. Like in the river of life. So rest. And here's where I just let go of anything that comes up that takes me away from settling in with that. So as I'm focused on my breath and my heartbeat and that desire to love and be loved, and often what comes up then is people I love, or Ginger, our dog, or, we just had to put her down recently, and so that love actually has come up even more, right? And so, and I pray for her wherever she is, that she knows how much we love her. So in other words, move into your love. Work those muscles of love. And notice the energy moving in you and how it feels so much better. And it might bring tears. That's okay. They're healthy tears, right? It just feels better to be moving with love than some other emotion, like anxiety or fear. We're going to accept our anxiety and fear, but combat them with love, including for ourselves. Like if anxiety comes up for you, like right now in this coronavirus, which it probably will here or there, love yourself. Natural as can be to be scared right now. Natural as can be. About finances, about whatever. I have those fears too. Natural as can be. Love yourself. And here's what I do. I put myself in God's hands and I say, angels and guides, please guide me at this time to align with love, that love that gives life through it all. Whether we stay in our bodies or not. It's a different level of life. And then work from there. So as I come out of meditation, my goal will be to work from, it's really this flow of energy, right? So I'll just give you a minute or so here in silence, then I'll wrap up. So we each just take some deep breaths and work with the flow that gives life, the flow of love and grace and inspiration. Amen. Thank you.